Crafty Yarn episode 12. I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Samantha, and we're a mother and daughter who love all things yarn.
So we've got quite a few things to show you today. I mean, not so much. I'll talk about that a bit later.
That's unusual, isn't it?
It is, but I've had a few problems, but again, I'll get into that later. So do you want to show your finished objects?
Yes. So I made this as a gift for Caitlin. This was the Summertime Bolero. Just a little crocheted bolero with the bobbles on the sleeves, which I absolutely love. Bobbles are my favourite. I used a yarn that we got at Wangaratta Wool Mills, just 100% wool. It actually is a grey, but it's looking a bit more blue on the screen there. But
it's a very like bluey grey.
Yeah, bluey grey, yeah. I am just absolutely thrilled with the way it's come up. It was quite an easy pattern. I hadn't made anything with this sort of construction before, and my stitch count got a little bit out when I joined the sleeves together, but I managed to work it out because I couldn't ask Caitlin. Normally I would ask Caitlin, but because it was a surprise I had to manage by myself. But I'm just so thrilled with it. I just love it. It's a perfect fit on Caitlin, and the little bobbles on the sleeve just look so cute.
It looks so good in that yarn.
It does. It looks really nice in this yarn, yeah, and it's a colour that will just go with absolutely everything. So it's just done in trebles, and then you've got the little bobbles on the sleeve, and then you do some double crochets around the neck, and you finish it off with the crab stitch. And I used a 5mm hook. I went up half a hook size because my tension is on the tight side, but I just was so excited to have made this, and Caitlin just loves it. So
you did a beautiful job.
Thank you.
So I haven't got anything that's fully finished, but I do have a half finished object. So I've made this pair of socks for my brother. So when I did all the socks for Christmas last year, I made him a pair, and when I did them then, I just did all plain vanilla socks. But for this one, I've sort of done a bit of a mashup of two different patterns. So to get like all the numbers and for the heel and the toe and everything, I used the Sockmatician's toe-up sock recipe because I like doing toe-up socks. And then I've got like a textured pattern on the front and then all the way around the little leg. So that is the Rhinebeck Roomies pattern by the Crazy Sock Lady. So I just decided that I wanted something a little bit more interesting, and I already had this pattern, but it is a cuff down pattern. So probably not the right way to do it, but I just used the cuff down instructions but just did them toe up, if you know what I mean. So like they run that way, but if you had have done them cuff down it would run that way. But I don't really think that you can tell any difference between what way it is.
I wouldn't know.
No. So
but I think it looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just did a 2x2 rib to finish it off. So this is a 72 stitch sock, which is what I actually did for all of my family members. I don't know whether we all have the same size feet, but
I think they are fairly similar. No one's got a really, really wide foot or anything.
No. So I did them all 72 stitches. And then this is just a little short sock. I don't know whether before Christmas you saw those ones I made for my grandpa, but they were like super duper long.
Yes.
So this was very quick in comparison. But it was really enjoyable, so I just need to get the second one done, and then I think that I'll put those away for Christmas. I'm getting really ahead this year.
Yes, but it looks really nice.
Mm.
Before Christmas I showed that I was making a whole heap of little squares, and I couldn't say what it was because I was making it for Caitlin. So these are the squares here, and what I actually made was a laptop case. So I made quite a few squares and then I've joined them all together. The pattern I used was from a book by Nikki Trench, but I just changed it slightly. Instead of, it had a join down the side, but I just made it all in one strip, and then I didn't have to have another join on the side. And she joined them together with like a ladder stitch or something, but I did a single crochet to sort of make a pattern out of the squares rather than just have them just all butting into each other.
And I think because they are kind of quite scrappy, the sort of like frame around them in that purple really brings them all together.
Yeah, yes. And then on the inside I've lined it, so you just make a lining and sew it together, and then I've used a piece of sort of decorative embroidered ribbon that I've had in my stash for just absolutely years, but it was just the perfect project for it. And then I've just put some press studs so you can close it and it actually worked out to be a perfect fit. Her laptop fits in there absolutely perfectly. So I was just really thrilled with it, and I'm really proud of myself for making it once again. I just made it using scraps of the Style Craft batik that Caitlin had left over from a poncho that she'd made. After making this one, I've decided that I'm going to make one for my son for Christmas as well. But I'm going to change it and do some bigger squares instead of doing all the little tiny squares now that I know what I'm doing. So, in our last video, we showed you all of our whips that we have outstanding and that we've been, some have been neglected for quite some time. This next one is one of those. These are the Star Stitch Glovelets by Nancy Said. I had one finished and the other one I just stalled on it. I couldn't get the little thumb hole right and I just put them in the too hard basket. But Caitlin helped me just to finish my little thumb hole, and now I have a pair of gloves, which is wonderful. So I can cross those off my list. So this was using a pure wool. I got it Spotlight in a magenta colour, and I used a 5mm hook. The base of the glove is using Star Stitch, which I think just looks so pretty. It's a really lovely stitch. And then around the edge of the thumb hole and the top, it's got a lovely little picot, which I think is a beautiful detail. So I'll just try them on so you can see what they look like. But I'm really thrilled to have them finished. So there's the finished gloves there.
So moving on to whips now.
Yes.
So I haven't done an awful lot on these whips, but I was making a cardigan for my grandma. Actually, funnily enough, it was in this pink cozy wool for my shawl. It's the same yarn set. So it was really pretty. It had like shells all over it, and it had like shells on the sleeves and like a band around it. So I completely finished that, but because it was worked in pieces, there was like no way of like trying it on during the process. And it's actually turned out far too small. So I'm gonna have to unpick the whole thing. So I haven't done that yet. I'm like working up to it because
it's really sad. Like the sleeve is actually too tight for me, and I do not have a very big arm. So what size did you make?
I made the extra large to 2XL.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something wrong. It's just very, very small.
So I haven't had the heart to unpick all that yet.
It is devastating when you have to do that.
So I don't know whether I'm going to try doing the same pattern in a bigger size or whether I should find another one.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe try a different one.
But I'm just giving that one a rest for a while. So I've been working on a couple of other little bits, but I obviously did those socks. But the thing that's got my main attention this month is my Charlotte's Universe blanket. So we're entering this into the Cozy Winter Blanket Along by Ollie and Bella and Starry Eyes Ellie. So last time I think that I may have done one, maybe two of the little triangle sections.
Yeah.
So I've done all of those and then I've gone all the way around the edge like quite a few times. So I'm back onto the sort of red now. So the rows are getting very, very long now. So it's taking a long time to get around, but I am really enjoying it. I think that it is looking quite pretty.
It looks beautiful.
So
It's really beautiful.
yeah, I've been enjoying working on that though. It's a bit more challenging than any of the other projects I've got going on at the moment. And it would be nice to get this finished in time for probably not this winter, but maybe next winter.
For me, it's totally unrealistic to have mine finished for this winter.
I think even for me though,
Yeah.
it's going to be a huge blanket, and
Yes.
I actually need to get some more of this burgundy because we only bought one ball to start with to make sure that it was exactly what I
Yeah.
wanted. So I need to get some more of that.
Yeah, I struggle with this. It's a beautiful pattern and it's going to make a beautiful blanket, but it's very complex and I am finding it extremely challenging. This blue section here, I think I've started it about 5 times. I keep making a silly little mistake where I don't do this chain or something, and it's just taking me forever to get past this blue area. So I've actually put it away for a week or so because I'm starting to lose hope and get frustrated with it. But I will get back to it. But yeah, I mean, the stitches are not overly complex, but I just keep making silly mistakes. And then of course you've got the whole row has to be undone, and it's quite heartbreaking and frustrating. So.
I do love your colours. So.
I love it, and I love the idea of owning it, but it's just it's proving challenging for me. Yes. blanket that I have been enjoying working on. It's actually, you forget how nice it is to have a project that's simple and you don't have to think about the stitches, and it's quite mindless. So a couple of years ago when I first started crocheting, I made 2 blankets for my sons. They were big rectangular ones. Looking back now, I don't know what I was thinking, but anyway, Caitlin asked me the other day if I would make her one as well, because she really liked the blanket. So I'm in the process of making one for her. So I'm just using up small bits of yarn that I have in 100% wool. And so it's like a scrappy one, which is what I did for my sons as well, because I do quite like a scrappy blanket. So it's a pattern by Bella Coco, and it's a rectangular blanket as opposed to a square one, which I actually liked the idea of instead of having a square. The original ones I made for my son, I can't remember how many stitches I used, but it was however many that she suggested. But she then tells you how to make it bigger if you want to. So I've actually made my centre bigger this time, and I actually like it better than the original ones I made. So I'm quite excited with the way this is turning out. So I've actually done quite a few rows. It's growing in size, so it's quite exciting to see it growing. But I'm really, really enjoying working on this. So I'm actually using a 5mm hook with this.
So after sort of failure with my cardigan, I wanted something that was sort of easy and I knew wasn't going to go wrong, and so I picked my recovery shawl back up.
Relaxing too.
Yeah, it is. It's a really lovely project. So this was my stitch marker back here from the last time that I worked on it. So I've done 7 rows.
Oh wow.
So I'm really pleased with that. Yeah. So we had this ball of sock yarn that we decided that we would split and use it for this, and then I've just added in some more that I'd already used back here. But I can just tell that this is going to be the most beautiful winter shawl.
Oh, it is. It's going to be a nice weight too, not too heavy.
But also I don't know whether you can see through that, but it's quite
it's quite dense.
Yeah. I don't even think that I will block this, because if you block it, it's just going to get sort of looser, and I like the sort of density that it is now.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't block it.
I mean, the edge is pretty straight as well. So
yeah.
I'm really impressed with this. I just love it. I especially love this section here. It had that beautiful hand-dyed yarn left over from Mum's single skein necklet, and then this nice little pastel one. But yeah, I just love this, and I'm hoping that maybe in 2024 we're going to make a few more 4-ply projects so we can have more yarn to put in this.
Yeah.
I think that we really need to try and make a conscious effort to...
I agree, because I'd like to get it finished, but I just don't have the yarn to do it with.
Yeah, I have got quite a long way to go, as you can see. It's not very big, and I definitely want it to be a nice, huge one to really wrap yourself up in, because then you can also make a tie that you sort of... Somehow you wrap it around and then you tie it, and it's sort of it almost looks a little bit like a cardigan when you do that.
Yeah. I've started making a Santa sack. It has got a reindeer on the front, and it is just the most adorable thing I've ever seen. So this was featured in Simply Crochet 116. I'm using this organic cotton from Lincraft, so it's an 8-ply cotton. I've got the green, and then I just need to get the brown for the tree trunks. And the reindeers. They didn't actually have the brown when I went to Lincraft last time. So I finished the bottom section. So it just worked in double crochets. This is actually another really relaxing project. It's actually quite fun to work on. So I can't do any more on this until I get the brown, because that's when I need that for the colour work. But I'm really excited to be making this, and it's going to take me quite a while. So that's why I started nice and early, so that I would have it ready for Christmas.
So I'm just very briefly going to touch on this project, because you've seen it quite a few times before. But this is my cherry bakewell shawl. So I've only got 1 row left to do on this, but it's these pom-pom edging bits. So if you saw our whip video, you'll know that I was having trouble with getting these to look right, but I fixed that now. So it's all sorted, and I just need to continue going around and get that finished. So I'm looking forward to having this finished, because I feel like this will be one that can be worn early winter.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be gorgeous to wear.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to do that. Now that I've finally got it sorted. Sometimes you just got to sit down and devote some time to things.
Yes. The last project that I'm going to show today is my up north cardigan, which isn't really an up north cardigan anymore, because I've changed it somewhat. So this was using the marble statue from Bendigo Wool Mills. It's 100% wool. I've got it together now, and we've crocheted around the edge doing the front and back post trebles. So I need to block it before I do anything further, and I've also got the front post, back post trebles along the bottom as well. So it's almost there, very, very close. These are the little pockets that go, and they actually go on sideways like that. The ribbon goes on the side as opposed to across the top. And then I mentioned last time that I was actually going to make a little tie. So I've crocheted that now. So I've got quite a nice long tie, and I think I did 5 wide. So I think that'll be perfect just to tie around it and bring it together if you're feeling a bit cold. So I've just got to block it, put the pockets on, put the sleeves in, and then I'll be finished. So hopefully by next time I should have it finished.
It's going to be so lovely to wear.
Oh, it's going to be gorgeous, and you know, I don't know why I've really dragged it out so long, but
just one of those things.
yeah, it is. So it'll be a really nice cardigan to wear, and because it's neutral, it's going to go with so many things in my wardrobe, so it'll be really good. Yeah.
We hope that you've enjoyed our little roundup of the things that we've been making recently, and hopefully next time myself, you had quite a bit, but hopefully I'll have a little bit more to share.
Until next time, happy crafting.